Yeah. I am very amped for no reason, because I can be and I can afford to be, and you can't do anything about that because the joy of the Lord is my strength. I'm just excited because it's something different on the channel. It's something different. I hope you could pick up on this energy and actually take it into your own life, guys. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is LOVECAST, and I'm so glad to have you guys hanging with me once again. Today I try to keep things simple, but I felt like a red lip, so I did it. I hope you guys like it. So I wanted to share something a bit different, like something different. This new segment of the channel is called LOVECAST. It's talking about love, podcast style. I'm going to have a couple of guests who are going to speak about different topics based on their areas of expertise or things that they've learned through lived experiences. And I hope you guys can actually learn as much as I learned from these conversations, and that you will enjoy them as much as I do. I really hope you guys learned something from this, and I hope if you had a few questions about these issues, that you actually got some answers or some new insight and perspectives. And I'm excited. Please don't worry about the videos that you're watching as you're listening to the podcast. Those aren't important. It's just me doing random stuff and just random videos that I get because I like taking videos, I guess. Like, I wish there was a bigger and better reason for why. I had a very good conversation with Nikki where she made things so much clearer based on her relationship, which is very successful. We spoke about a few things, and I can't wait for you guys to hear about the conversations that we were having and really be part of the whole thing. Love you guys so much. Please enjoy this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and please share it with your friends, please. Especially if you know me personally, like, come on.
If it's genuine, I think maybe that's where it's easy to be consistent. Yeah. There's this one video I watched, I think that explained maybe our dynamic without me having to explain it to myself a bit better. This guy was kind of like, he was having like a relationship podcast and whatever. So his topic was that men shouldn't chase women. So that the topic, I was like, I wonder what what he means or what his perspective is. So there was like a panel, and people were like, what do you mean? And so what he was explaining is that this whole thing about chasing a woman is problematic. So people were like, what? So men shouldn't be the one shelari? And it's like, no, I'm not talking about you being the one. The pursuit ends up being the most important thing for a man, pursuing the woman. He's like, the Bible says, find your wife, go and find your wife. Finding your wife and chasing your wife are two different things. Chasing means he was like explaining, like, it's like someone's running away and you're going after them. Someone is, running, they're, living their life, and you're going after them. And oftentimes men focus on that chase. By the time they reach you, they've put in the effort and yet to get to where you are. And you've been the one, the lady wants to be chased, and yet the lady wants, he must call me, he must this, he must that. And then he's like, what's wrong with that? Sometimes then that creates an expectation for the man, because now once he has you, he wants to take a back seat and be like, now that I've gotten you, now you must do the work. Now I'm just going to chill. I've done my chasing, Or it's that the thrill of the chase gets him. He likes to chase. Once he's got you, it's not going to last long, because the chase was more fun for him. So he's now bored. He's like, okay, now I know you. Now we've hanged. Now we chill. Now I've got you. Well, I would love to chase that actually. Now my attention immediately moves to something else. Like, you settle for that person that you've chased, but you did it mostly because you were enjoying the act of chasing. Like people who just enjoy dating, like we just enjoy going on dates, like doing that, but then they're doing that with people who actually want to be serious, who are not just dating casually. You know, like it's like having a casual date and someone who's looking for marriage, and then you put those two people together. So it was explaining this whole thing about chasing. It's like, no, both of you, it should be equal. Not in how many times or whatever, because he's like, and also when you now want to say you should be equal, people want to equate it like, no, I called you, you must call me. No, it's not about how many times, it's not about nitty gritty things. It's about both of you intentionally being like, we like each other, and we're both going to get into this, and both mutually going to do something. And if you both really want something as much as you do, you're gonna make it work. It's like a business. It's like like if you have a business and you have a business partner, you want someone who's gonna be in the business just as much as you are gonna be. You don't want to be dragging someone who only comes to collect money. You want, if you have a partnership, you must be as invested in the business as your partner. Otherwise, you're gonna be like exhausting yourself. So when he was explaining all that, I was like, I think maybe that makes sense, because I never felt like I had to do more or Lando had to do more. Like, it was just this mutual thing where we it just worked. Like, we just cared enough, so the caring about each other, it didn't matter. Like, it didn't matter who called who. It was the fact that we were just both concerned about each other. It didn't matter who visited who. It was the fact that we both intended to spend that moment together. So I think that's probably what's made it consistent, is because it started with
very intentional.
Yeah. So I think that's what made me understand, like, hearing that, I was like, I think that makes sense, because I didn't feel like I was chasing him and he wanted nothing to do with me, or that, or he just wanted to be friends, or vice versa, like, or he was just the one pursuing me, and I was like, I don't know, It was like we're both, it was happening at the same pace, basically, like we were kind of feeling each other, like it was friendship, and we seemed to both be okay with that. But then there was a stage where, like, I think, like, now you really will equally wanting to spend more time together, like, purposefully, like, hey, I know we're done with school, do you want to maybe hang out this afternoon? Yeah, that would be great, I'm glad you asked. Yeah, and then it was now every other day, like, hey, or now calling, hey, did you get home alright, are you good, and all of that. And then we were realizing that, no, we really care about each other, like, but not in like a friend, like a buddy kind of way. And then, we just had to be honest about it and be like, so this is what I'm feeling, like, that's what I'm feeling. And took it from there. So I think it was just, I've never had it like that before. Sometimes you crush on somebody, but you have to, you have to do the work, or they're crushing on you, and then they do the work, to get to you, to text you, hey, I really like you, whatever. It was just a thing that happened at the same time for the both of us. Like, it was more in sync than I ever thought it possibly could be. So maybe that was why, like.
Where would you say, like, a friendship type? Because it's like everything starts off as a friendship sometimes. Like, I don't know, like, if your experiences are different, but I personally I'm not one of those people that you just meet and you talk to and you are smooth, you have the lines, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I like you, have my number, call me now, wait, it's done, and it's just like, every time you start something, it's with the intention of genuinely getting to know someone, or sometimes even just like, oh, you're speaking to me, okay, I'll speak to you too, because it's polite, and you don't do any, you're not giving me like weird vibes, and it's just like trying to navigate or define relationships between males and females, and what is appropriate and what isn't, and at what point should one actually do what you said, like be honest and be like, this is actually a bit more than what it is. Like, what are the things that you think in a friendship, like a different sex friendship, things that are like shouldn't be happening if people are friends, just friends?
Well, I think I had a clear example of that, especially with Londo, because how we started with that is that we were working on a project together, and they were females. It was a group of 4. He was the only guy, and it was me, my homie, and then he had a friend also that was a female. So I think he's probably one of the only people I can say I saw have a male-female friendship with somebody that did not, in my mind at that stage, I was like, I don't think, everyone asks you and your girlfriends be talking, be like, so would you be okay with your guy having female friends? and because of my experiences of what I've seen and also what I've experienced lately, I was like, I don't think it's right. I don't think it will work because people one person's gonna develop feelings, that kind of thing, and then then what, so in my mind at that stage I was like, I don't see it working. But when we started the project together, I was not intending on dating Rolando. We were just working together. And I knew he was friends with Mahmoud. I knew he was friends with her already and all of that. They were looking for someone else to work with. And then now, like when we started like vibing and everything, I never felt threatened by his friendships with them because I think it was hella brother and sister. Like in a way that, if anyone was pursuing Rolando, if anyone was pursuing Mahmouda, there was a certain level where you just like, these guys are not. I think it's the fact that one, they had a very like it almost seemed like if Mahmouda was a guy, it would be the same friendship because they had certain boundaries that I also think were just like unspoken as well. Like they spoke about everything, and he spoke to her about, hey, I like Nikki, like, what do you think, all of that. But I think it's so difficult to describe, but it was just something that when I started developing feelings for London, there was no part of me that was worried about, oh, maybe he and Mahmouda are like vibing or feeling each other, because they were really like brother and sister. It was like he was her older sister. They had that kind of friendship, but it wasn't even in an overly family overprotective kind, because I think that's where people get it confused. It's like where someone becomes overprotective, I feel like that might indicate something else. So I think where you're asking like when, like what does it have to have if to work, I would think not being overprotective over one another, allowing that person to live their life, because I think that's where feelings over that person, either whether you feel something romantically for them or not, it's not healthy when it comes to you affecting that person and their future relationship or current relationship, being that overprotective. Like, leave that for their family members because we know their family. As a friend and you're of a different sex, I feel like you shouldn't be overprotective over that person. It sends the wrong message. Whether or not you have feelings for that person, it will make the future partner or current partner uncomfortable. So I never felt like Mahmouda was overprotective over Lwando. You know the thing that like friends do, like, like now that female friends is going to start acting weird towards you because now you're now getting close to her homie, or now he doesn't have enough time for you anymore because now he's got a new girl, whatever. I never felt that kind of relationship. So I don't know whether it's the people he chose to be friends with, but I think it also has to do with his intentions in the friendships. I felt like I could tell the difference, especially because we started off as a mutual friendship, just I guess like how he had navigated the friendships with the two ladies that he was friends with before. But then we could both now start seeing differences, and so could everybody else, because even Mahmouda was like, hey, so I see you in London, like, I'll get along, but not like get along, but like get along, like, like what's going on. So I think in general, I think it's just about being overprotective over your female or male friends' love life, or who they should be with and who they shouldn't be with and whatever. I think that sends the wrong message, because you can advise somebody or you can say your opinion, but when you're acting out on being overprotective, I don't think that is a good grounds for a like a heterosexual friendship, because it just doesn't make the other person feel comfortable, like, or the other person's partner feel comfortable, if we're talking about how it would affect a relationship. And boundaries, physical ones, I think as well, because I think how we develop from friendship to actually I'm feeling you, it's different things for different people. For some people it's like it's because you're just palling around physically, but then now it starts building attraction, and for one or the other or both, like we're just physically, because we're buddies, we just be fooling around, and then maybe that leads to like one person feeling something out of the ordinary. So physical boundaries, I think, is also something, like, especially I feel like it should also be like if you're intentional about why you're in that friendship, I think that's also one thing, is have intention. Are you interested in this person? Do you think you ever will be? And if you think you ever will be, what kind of boundaries do you feel like you need to set up for yourself if you don't want that to ever really happen by accident? Because I think that's it. Like, we're all attracted. Like, if you're attracted to what you're attracted to, that's cool. But you'll never know until someone presents that opportunity. Like, and then you're like, oh, actually, I wasn't thinking of it like this. But now, because we're friends and we're close and we spend time together, whatever, things will catch you off guard. It could be how many times he checks up on you as a friend that ends up hooking you, like, oh shit, I actually like him because he, you know, because you didn't realize you like being checked up on, and he's doing it as a homie, but now you're like falling for him because of that thing, you know. So I think it's analyzing, why am I going to be friends with this person, not taking charge, or not wanting to be like, you know, what's the word I use?